Hey, welcome to the first ever edition of the Fly on the Ropes podcast. I'm Bob Turner.
Hi, y'all. I'm Debbie Western.
All right, and we are here to talk about NXT TakeOver Houston. And first of all, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Doggy Coffee. If your dog needs coffee, you better get it for him. Anyway, so it was a pretty good show. I think it was definitely one of the better shows of the year. NXT usually brings it.
Back in the form that we are used to seeing NXT in.
Yeah, there was a time where we would go all the time. It's at Full Sail University. We would check it out, and they would have these takeover events that would not disappoint ever. I feel like
Absolutely, and there was a little bit of a lull there with the talent, but it seems like they're back in their regular form.
Yeah.
Doing a great job tearing down the house.
Yeah, it's getting there. So a match that stood out that I want to get into is the Alistair Black versus the Velveteen Dream.
Yes.
That was fun. It's kind of like
start?
Yeah, Alistair Black's like this real serious dude, and Velveteen Dream is like a flamboyant kind of guy. So it's that.
Yes, and there was quite the feud going on between the two of them.
Yeah,
because Alistair Black refused to say Velveteen Dream's name.
Right. I want to talk about that. So the idea is, if you guys haven't seen any of this, Velveteen Dream wants Alistair Black to say his name, and he's been trying to get him to for weeks, and he won't do it. And
yes, Alistair Black refuses and ignores him. In fact, ignores him.
Right. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the match, they were going back and forth, a lot of good high spots, punches, kicks, that whole thing, and then it went on for a while, and it was very exciting. The crowd was chanting "Say his name" for a long time. That was funny.
And there was that little exchange that they did where Alistair Black he jumps off the ropes and lands in a cross-legged position. Right, so what happened here was he did that, and then Velveteen Dream was gyrating as he does in a Rick Rude sort of fashion. Got to talk about those tats.
Right.
And then Alistair Black, of course, is ignoring him as he typically does, and then Velveteen Dream flips the script and does Alistair Black's cross-legged position.
Right.
Only for Alistair Black to slide on the mat in a rather sensual manner, as Velveteen Dream does.
Yeah,
that popped the crowd pretty hard.
Talk about the tights a little more. Like what
right. So when Velveteen Dream came out, he was wearing chaps, and they were covering his leggings, his gear, and he unzipped them, and on the one side was a airbrushed portrait of Alistair Black, and on the other side was an airbrushed portrait of Velveteen Dream, and it was this fusion of the two of them, and then across his waistband it said "Say my name."
Right.
Yeah, so it really kind of it caught you up on the feud if you didn't know what was going
on. If anyone, you may not be familiar, or you may be, with Ravishing Rick Rude of the '80s WWF, he would usually put his opponent on his pants, like airbrush kind of thing. He did that with the Ultimate Warrior. With sometimes his opponent's wife would be airbrushed.
Correct.
Like Jake the Snake Roberts. That was very.
Yes.
It was a good throwback to that era,
and yet still updated. Because,
still relevant. Because
Velveteen Dream was trying to get Alistair Black to say his name. So it had that sort of vibe, that undercurrent. And the ending, because spoiler alert, Alistair Black.
We're going to spoil this match.
He beat him. It was a fantastic match, and they both fought really hard. But it was really satisfying at the end because he had a microphone and he grabbed it. And I wrote down what he said. He said, "Enjoy infamy, Velveteen Dream."
He said his name,
and the whole crowd lost it. They just popped on that because both of them won. Both of them won.
They won. They both won.
Yes, absolutely.
They definitely did. It was a great match. It was phenomenal. Velveteen Dream, wrestler of the night, in my opinion.
Alistair Black, we'll get into that in a little bit. But excellent job. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was good. It was a great show. Well, quickly, the main event. There was a War Games match. These happened. It hasn't happened in 20 years. It was between three teams. You had Sanity was one of the teams. You also had the Undisputed Era. And you had the Authors of Pain.
AOP.
A lot of crashing and burning in this match. They really went at it. And can you explain what War Games match is?
So basically what happened is we have these three teams. We have two rings that are next to each other, and they bring down a steel cage to cover the two rings.
Right.
And you have one man from each of the three teams enter. Initially there are 5 minutes. After the first 5 minutes, you have two other members from the remaining team coming in, followed by 2 other members that come in after 2 minutes. And then all 9 people are in the ring. The match is officially started, and a pinfall will win it for one of the teams. If you are to jump out of the ring, you forfeit for your team. It was very exciting.
Very exciting. A lot of rules. There's a lot to take in there, but it was crazy. Table spots, weapons, all kinds of things. One dude got his head bloody at one point.
Alexander Wolf.
Alexander Wolf got his head all messed up. So it was a really good match. Undisputed Era ended up getting the win.
Yes.
Adam Cole, he's a big time star.
Chair shot to Eric Young's face to end the match. It was pretty incredible. It was a great way to end a really great show.
Yeah, it was really a good time.
Show.
So that being said, why don't you tell the folks at home who your wrestler of the night was?
Well, getting back to the first match, it is Alistair Black. He absolutely did it for me. I think he's a perfect straight man to Velveteen Dream's his over the top character, and I really think it was a really good matchup as far as wrestling styles are concerned and characters. And I just love that he said his name at the end. That did it for me.
I'm going to go with Velveteen Dream. He really, this was kind of a debut for him. I know he's been in NXT for a while. This was his first takeover. This was a coming out party for this guy. We watched him on Tough Enough, just this like kind of unknown dude, big wrestling fan. He took the leap into making a real flamboyant character. I really, really enjoyed that. It was a great match for anybody who hasn't seen it. Get the network, check it out. And it was a good time. So great night, War Games, NXT TakeOver. It was awesome. And I'd like to thank everybody for watching. That was the first ever episode of Fly on the Ropes podcast. I'm Bod Turner.
I'm Debbie Western. Thanks, y'all.
All right. Thanks for watching. And always keep it kayfabe. Thank you.